Hello everyone, welcome to another real life EV story. It's a bracing morning here in Bombay and we are at RA Mill Colony and we are here to speak to Mamta and Ashish. So if you remember, they recently did a video where they drove from Bombay all the way to Jaipur and it was a very interesting and fun trip. And today we're going to talk to them about that experience and also their overall experience of owning the Tata Nexon EV. Thank you for joining us and for taking the time out today. So here's the famous Tata Nexon EV in question that's made such a long journey. Ashish, my first question to you is when did you buy this car?
We bought the vehicle September last week, and that was the point we started exploring the vehicle. Already in around 45 days, we've done more than 6,000 kilometers, and it's been a beautiful experience. The comfort, and it's been really great.
Right. So Ashish, what was the reason for buying the Tata Nexon EV?
Saving the environment, because today we live in big cities and there's so much of pollution. So that was the reason behind it. The first reason. The second reason, the comfort of the car, because you don't feel any vibration, you don't feel any lag, and the beautiful experience of driving the car was the second reason. And third, the subsidies provided by the government.
Right.
Because the government gives you subsidies over an electric vehicle.
Right.
So that was the third reason.
Okay. So the environment, the affordability and the ease of driving. Okay. Alright Ashish, what was the buying experience of the Tata Nexon EV like? How helpful were the Tata people? How knowledgeable were they?
We got the car from Indrajit Motors in Dheri West, and the experience was pretty good. Just because of being a new product, there was a little bit of miscommunication with the dealership, but apart from that, it was pretty clear. I mean, we've had a good experience.
Right. And how knowledgeable were they? Did they tell you information about the features?
I would rate them about 8 on 10.
Okay.
Because there were things that I brought up, and they gave me the answers later, which should have been communicated with me right away.
Oh, okay. Fine. Guys, so you did a world famous trip in your Tata Nexon EV where you drove from Bombay to Delhi. What I'd like to know about that, I think, first of all, I think you're pioneers because I don't think any private car users have done such a trip. So first thing I'd like to know is how did you plan for it? How did you plan the trip?
It was spontaneous. It was, we didn't know we were doing it until last 4 to 5 hours. We were not sure if this was possible. If everybody kept telling us that this trip is not possible, don't do it.
Right.
But I kept making my list, and he was not home, and we were trying to coordinate over a call that should we do this, and it was we just did it. We thought it's okay. What is going to happen? This is not end of the world. Let's just do it.
And out of that nothing, we created a database where we marked all the charging stations that we thought would be available and started calling them to understand what kind of time they would be, like would they be open post 7, and there were certain challenges, but it was a great experience in the end.
Okay. So that brings me to my second question, which is what was your charging experience like on the journey?
We planned the trip on an Excel sheet. We named all the places where we could charge. There were workshops, there were dealerships, there were other car showrooms as well that we marked. We called a lot of people. Some people were happy to host us. Some were like, oh, we won't allow you after 6. Some were like, oh, you're not allowed to charge at our place. So it was a mixed response, but we just took a leap of faith and we thought, okay, let's just see what happens next.
And there were fast charges up to Ahmedabad, so that also helped.
Okay.
So we expected to have about 10 charging stations on our way. When I say charging station, they can be Jugaad charging stations where a 15 ampere switch with earthing is created for us. We were expecting like 10 of them, but we
And
happened
a couple of hotel stays.
Yeah, but we happened to get it like at every 50 to 100 kilometers because of Amit
Mr.
Goyal
Goyal
from Tata.
Okay.
He was
He was your guardian angel.
He was the support system behind the entire.
Yes, because
Okay.
he would, if we tell him that we are on this way, he would be like, okay, X, Y, Z are your 3 charging points, charge wherever possible. And he would arrange everything before we'd reach the place, a day before.
Okay.
And if Ashish wants to say that, if Ashish just said, I feel I'm hungry, and we'd have dinner ready at Tata workshop for us.
Wow. Amazing.
So it was a great experience.
Okay, great job Tata.
Yeah, because we got bouquets, we got gifts, People would actually spend time talking to us at Tata workshops. They take pictures. They would treat us so well. We got place to sleep at a lot of places. We got MD's room with sofa and washroom to just have some just go sleep and use the place. So it was
an entire Tata family taking care of us.
actually.
Okay, so overall it sounded like you guys had a pretty smooth experience, but no road trip is 100% smooth, and we do know that you guys did have some rough patches. So do tell us a little bit about cases where you felt range anxiety, where something went wrong, and how you managed to get past it.
From Mumbai to Gujarat, there were fast chargers available, so that was not really the biggest challenge. The challenge was going to be the Rajasthan belt, where we didn't have fast chargers. Beawar and that entire route, there was a section where we had 15% range and we had to do over 50 kilometers.
My God.
So that created a certain anxiety that how would be able to.
Of course.
So it was all about learning. This trip was all about learning.
But we did not have AC on,
Right.
so we were doing this entire trip, especially the Rajasthan belt in heat. So that's one thing that we said
challenge.
that was a challenge of the trip. Plus, to get a good range, it should be a little. You have to drive slow. You cannot be speeding at 100. It needs to be at 60 to 75. You have to drive slow. You have to be very gentle on the car, and that's when the car gives you that range of 300 and above.
Which we extracted in the last leg of our trip.
Right.
We actually got the car, the range that was promised by the car dealership. We got that range.
Also, we tried one more technique, that was drafting.
So drafting basically is moving your vehicle behind a bigger vehicle, so the air or the air pressure doesn't hit the car too hard.
Yeah.
So that gives you an extra 5% mileage.
So we did that a lot on highway to save some battery and get a good range.
So you got behind a lorry and you just stayed there for 20-30 kilometers.
Just to understand the vehicle also, because we did not want to generate power, and there is an eco point which you're not supposed to touch if you want the highest range. And we ensured that we were driving within our limits.
And every bus and lorry that we got behind, its name was Lucky. I don't know,
So the
luckily
minute
it
we
was
stop,
named Lucky.
we spot a Lucky, we would just go behind.
Lucky is luck rubbed off.
Yeah, for us, yes.
Okay. So I imagine the trip from Bombay to Delhi and Delhi to Bombay was not identical. You must have had wildly different experiences considering the terrain you were going over. Tell us a little bit about how those trips were different, what kind of experiences that you had that were a bit out of the ordinary.
So the software update actually made the trip very different. When we went to Delhi, the range that we got was 200 to 220 kilometers. But while coming back, there was a software update done by Tata, and they ensured that the range would at least increase by 10%. But because we were driving within the limits, we got the range up to 280, 270, and even 300 at the last leg.
That's amazing.
In fact, from Surat to Mumbai, we could cover that
Entire
entire
belt.
Surat to Mumbai
All the way to
in
the
one
top.
single charge, and we were getting a range of above 320. But yes, that was without AC.
Without
we were
AC,
driving
at 50, 55,
to 60.
and a lot
drafting.
of rolling and regen.
So you were hypermiling basically.
Yes. We could
Fantastic.
juice up, yeah.
Okay guys, I think we've chit-chatted enough. I'm really excited to sit in this car for the first time. So let's get started, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, here we are finally in the Tata Nexon EV. I'm really excited. I really like this cabin. It's a very spacious cabin. It's very well laid out. There's not a lot of crap on the dashboard. It's all very well thought out. And Ashish is driving the car. So my first question to you, Ashish, is what was your experience like of setting up charging at your apartment?
So right before the delivery, Tata people called us, the Tata Power people called us, and they ensured that they came and visited the site, the location of the charger, and they tested the voltage. They made sure that it was giving the exact voltage that was required, and within a day they set up the charger. And it was was not a hasty experience. It was pretty clean, and they made me understand the box is pretty neat, and we got it installed within a couple of hours.
Alright, so it's great to know that Tata helped you with setting up the charging. But before we go into that, I want to talk a little bit more about how you dealt with your society. What permissions did you require in order to set up charging?
So we got the NOC sorted with the secretary, and I had informed him that we're getting the EV, and he was quite supportive about it.
Okay.
That you're saving the environment, and it's a great thing, and they were happy. So we just connected the charger directly to our meter, and it was a very easy, clean process. I don't think there was an issue with the society.
Yeah, so that's great to know that your society is so progressive, because we know of cases where societies are obstructing people who want to set up charging at their places, and we wish that there'd be more societies like yours.
I think it's just because of lack of education.
Right,
if you
yeah.
educate them before, then they would probably understand the huge difference that they're gonna make with the planet also.
True, yeah. So I hope we see such more progressive societies in the future. What I'd like to know now is what your day-to-day charging experience is like, and how much does it cost you in electricity costs in order to charge your car and drive it for the amount of driving that you do per month?
So currently the charge, when I say 100%, I'm getting an average city drive around 230 to 240 with the AC on, which is pretty decent. I think the cost is not even ₹1 a kilometer.
Wow.
I have charged my car over a month, and where I've used quite a decent number of units, but my bill has not exceeded above 2,000 rupees.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I've already driven the vehicle 6,000 kilometers.
Right.
So it's quite amazing at the savings point of view also, like, because you end up saving a good 1 month fuel cost in your EMI. Currently, if I calculate my savings, in just 6,000 kilometers, I've saved about 20,000 rupees.
Right.
Which is huge, which is about an EMI. So it kind of, the car gives back to you also. As you know, like it's just not, it's a return back to your investment.
Right, yeah. So, and especially a car this big, you would expect it to just drink petrol, the petrol version of the car, that is. So there's no reason at all for people to buy the petrol version. They should just buy the EV version instead. You have a great ride, you have all the cost efficiency that you need, and that is just fantastic to hear, that how cost efficient the Tata Nexon EV is. Alright, so first time sitting in the Tata Nexon EV. When I drove, so I'm used to driving my E2O, and I drove the Hyundai Kona, and there were two vastly different experiences. One is really cramped quarters, and the other there's a lot of space. This is somewhere in the middle. I'm really comfortable in this. Everything is within reach, and I like the look of the steering wheel. There are all these buttons on it for easy access. Here's the infotainment display, and here's the parking brake, the gear change dial, so there's no gear change lever. And overall it's a very nice look. You have all the information that you need right in front of you. The trip, the amount of range you have remaining, the odometer, the trip destination, all of those things are right in front of you. And overall, yeah, I really like this dashboard. Okay, enough chattering, let's move out. So we've just started moving, and when you let go of the brake, the car immediately takes off. So you have that cruise mode in this car, and what this car feels like to drive is it's a bit like a petrol automatic, but the difference is that you have all that instant torque and instant power at your command. So you have a really sure feel of yourself when you're in the car, and I guess it's a bit unnerving for you if you've not driven an EV before, but I don't think it'll take you very long to get used to it. What else? The suspension is just fantastic. You don't feel the bumps in the road at all, and let me tell you that we are not on a really great patch of road right now in RA. Parts of it are smooth, parts of it are not, but we're having a really comfortable ride. So what you just saw now was the regen in action. I took the car up to about 40 kilometers and 40 kmph, and then I let go, and as you saw, the car almost came to a total stop almost instantly. So you can see just how powerful the regen is just from that. She's now going to show us the vehicle's famed sport mode. Ashish, tell us more about that.
So currently the car is in the drive mode, which is the eco mode, where you get efficiency. People who like torque, people who like good and like good power, there is a sports mode, and I'm gonna test it now. And trust me, you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
You're gonna love the thrill. It just flies off.
God.
It just totally flies off. So
my
there is a lot of power that the car generates
Oh God.
when you put it in the sports mode.
I can't.
It's for people. It's
Yeah.
for people who like speed, the speed of thrill.
Seriously.
I think you can totally get it.
You've owned the car for about a month and a half. You've driven 6,000 kilometers. You've gone on a long road trip, and you've got the full experience of the car in such a short period. So what I'd like to know is, what has your overall experience of driving the car been like? Your day-to-day user experience, charging experience, and what kind of feedback would you like to give Tata Motors?
See, currently, city drive, I would totally rate this car 10 on 10 because of the efficiency, because of lack of pollution. The entire experience inside it, even outside, when you're standing outside, there is no vibration, so there's no noise. Totally 10 on 10 for that.
You don't know whether the car is on or off. You never get to know about it, because even if you put it on right now, you will not know if it's on because it doesn't vibrate at all. So you feel like a king when you sit in the car. You know, it's like sitting on your sofa and just going places.
Right.
It's super cost efficient because you put it on charge at night and it costs you about 300 rupees and you get a range of 300 kilometers. So
Right.
It's not even rupee a kilometer as compared to the other
Yeah.
fuel that you pay, like
Yeah.
4 or 5 rupees a kilometer minimum.
Yeah.
Paise per kilometer.
So you may,
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
by spending about 25,000 in a month, let's say if the car EMI, you get this like an
Your
SUV.
money is totally worth
Yeah,
it.
you get an SUV car which is automatic and you feel like a king in the car. But if you get a smaller hatchback that is ICE car, you still end up paying 25,000 because you pay like an EMI of 10,000 and then you pay like 12 to 15,000 as fuel and maintenance of the car.
Maintenance cost, right.
So it comes out to same, but this car gives you a better feeling. It feels great to drive this car.
Yeah.
And of course,
I would totally
environment-friendly.
recommend it to city buyers. Like,
Yes, it's amazing.
wait for a couple of years and then even for long drives. I'm sure the range is going to get better as the time goes along. There would be cars coming in that will be doing 600 kilometers, and that's what we'll all be waiting for.
And anything like to say to Tata Motors? Any feedback?
I think they've done a fantastic job, and we really appreciate the kind of help they did with the trip, and I think they're going to go a long way also.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish they could put these chargers at the workshops on highway, because those are easiest place to take your car, put it on charging, and and just chill around a bit. So that way they can really do well, because only Tata in this country has these workshop at every 50 to 100 kilometers. Nobody else does.
Right.
So they can actually materialize on that investment that they've done over the years. So they should definitely put chargers in the workshop.
Okay. Alright guys, that was a full hearty 100% endorsement from Mamta and Ashish, and we really enjoyed the experience of covering this car, and we do hope that it will sell really well in India. And that was our real life EV story. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. Goodbye.